Most quarters are worth face value, but a few Washington and state quarters are worth thousands. Here's how to spot the rare ones. The 1965 Washington quarter dollar might look ordinary at first glance. Just another coin that passed through countless hands, vending machines, and cash registers across America. But hidden among the millions of these quarters are certain pieces that are anything but ordinary. These coins, struck during a year of dramatic change in U.S. coinage history, have become treasures in the eyes of collectors. Some rare examples have fetched astonishing prices at auction, ranging from $62,000 to $129,000, proving that even the coins most of us overlook can hold extraordinary secrets. To understand why the 1965 quarter stands out, we need to look back at what was happening in America at that time. Prior to 1965, Washington quarters were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, a tradition that had lasted for decades. Silver was the backbone of U.S. coinage, used in dimes, quarters, half dollars, and even silver dollars. But by the early 1960s, rising silver prices began to pose a serious problem for the U.S. Mint. The melt value of coins was approaching, and in some cases surpassing, their face value. People were hoarding coins, silver shortages were looming, and the government needed to act fast. In response, the Coinage Act of 1965 brought sweeping changes. Silver was eliminated from quarters and dimes altogether, with the mint switching to a clad composition of copper sandwiched between layers of a copper-nickel alloy. Half dollars retained some silver, but even that was reduced. For the quarter, 1965 was the very first year the new clad version entered circulation. It marked a turning point in American coinage history, and because of that, the 1965 quarter carries special significance. But here's where things get fascinating. While the mint was preparing to transition, some leftover 90% silver planchets, the blank discs used to strike coins, accidentally got mixed into the production process. That means a tiny number of 1,965 quarters were struck on silver planchets instead of the new clad ones. These silver 1965 quarters are the reason collectors pay such incredible prices today. They're a mistake, an anomaly, and a piece of history all wrapped into one. At first, most people had no idea. The coins looked nearly identical to the new clad quarters, with George Washington's familiar portrait on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, designed by John Flanagan. Only weight and composition revealed the truth. The silver quarters weighed slightly more, 6.25 grams compared to the 5.67 grams of the clad coins, and they produced a distinct ringing sound when dropped. For years, most people never thought to check. But for those who did, the reward could be staggering. In the numismatic world, the silver 1965 quarter is a holy grail of modern-era coins. High-grade examples authenticated by grading services have shocked collectors with their auction results. When a pristine silver 1965 quarter crosses the block, bidding wars erupt, driving the price into that jaw-dropping range of $62,000 to $129,000. That's the kind of value that makes people double-check the change in their drawers, their old coin jars, and the boxes passed down from parents and grandparents. What makes the story even more exciting is how these coins blur the line between accident and history. The mint was under tremendous pressure in 1965, struggling to adjust to the new compositions while keeping up with demand for coinage. Mistakes were almost inevitable, but no one could have guessed that those mistakes would one day become treasures. For collectors, these silver planchet quarters are more than errors. They're time capsules of a turning point in U.S. coinage. Condition, as always, plays a critical role in determining value. Circulated examples of the 1965 silver quarter are worth a fortune compared to face value, but uncirculated specimens are where the numbers truly soar. A coin with sharp details, full mint luster, and no signs of wear can easily climb into 5- or 6-figure territory. That's why collectors dream of finding one tucked away, untouched, in an old roll or set. Even beyond the rare silver era, the 1965 quarter holds appeal. It represents the first of the clad era, a new direction for American coinage. For many collectors, it marks the end of the Silver Age, the last time everyday pocket change carried intrinsic metal value. That historical weight makes it an essential piece for anyone building a collection of U.S. quarters. What fascinates collectors is the idea that these coins still exist in the wild. Every once in a while, Stories surface of someone discovering a silver 1965 quarter after decades. Whether in a roll of coins saved from a bank, in old collections, or even in circulation, the possibility keeps the hunt alive. The knowledge that a coin struck nearly 60 years ago, worth just 25 cents at the time, could be worth $62,000 to $129,000 today adds a layer of excitement to every coin search. This coin also underscores one of the great lessons of numismatics. Small differences matter. To the casual observer, all 1965 quarters look the same. But to those who pay attention to weight, composition, and details, the differences are monumental. It's a reminder that history often hides in plain sight, and that treasures can be overlooked for generations until someone takes the time to look closer. Auction houses and grading services have documented some of the finest known examples, fueling even more interest. When a coin crosses the $100,000 mark, it grabs headlines and reignites the passion of collectors everywhere. Each new sale reinforces the rarity and importance of the 1965 silver quarter, cementing its status as one of the great modern rarities. For new collectors, the 1965 quarter offers a thrilling introduction to the world of coin hunting. The idea that an everyday coin could hold such value makes the hobby approachable, accessible, and exciting. For seasoned collectors, it represents one of the crown jewels of era coins, a piece worth pursuing no matter the cost. And beyond its monetary value, it's a symbol of change. The switch from silver to clad coinage wasn't just about metal. It reflected broader shifts in the economy, government policy, and American life. The 1965 quarter captures that moment perfectly, embodying both the old and the new, the traditional and the experimental. So when you come across a 1965 Washington quarter, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Check its weight, look at its edges, and pay attention to its details. Because while most are clad, a rare few are silver, and those rare few can transform a coin worth 25 cents into one worth between $62,000 and $129,000. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching, what keeps the stories alive, and what makes the 1965 quarter one of the most exciting coins in modern American history. The Washington quarter has long been a staple of American coinage, carrying with it not only monetary value but also cultural significance. By 1974, the Washington quarter had already been in circulation for more than 4 decades, and for many Americans, it was the coin that embodied daily life. Used in vending machines, laundromats, parking meters, and pocket change everywhere. What most people didn't realize at the time, however, was that among the countless millions of quarters struck that year, a select few would one day capture the attention of collectors and numismatists, commanding values not just above face value, but soaring into incredible ranges of $55,000 to $122,000. The story of the 1974 quarter is one of rarity, condition, and human error coming together to transform an ordinary piece of change into a collector's treasure. To understand why the 1974 Washington quarter is so intriguing, we should first explore its design and history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Sculptor John Flanagan's design featured a bold portrait of Washington on the obverse, with a striking eagle perched on a bundle of arrows on the reverse. This design remained unchanged until the statehood quarter program began in 1999, making coins like the 1974 quarter part of a long and consistent chapter in U.S. coinage history. On the obverse of the 1974 quarter, Washington's profile dominates, with the word Liberty above his head and the motto In God We Trust to the left. Below the portrait, the year 1974 is clearly stamped. On the reverse, the eagle with outstretched wings conveys strength and vigilance, flanked by olive branches symbolizing peace. The inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar circle the design. At first glance, nothing seems particularly unusual about this coin. After all, it looks like any other Washington quarter. But for collectors, the details beneath the surface tell a much more captivating story. In 1974, quarters were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Billions were made for circulation, and proof coins were produced in San Francisco for collectors. The majority of these coins today are worth face value or slightly more in circulated condition. But the difference between a common coin and a rare gem lies in the errors, varieties, and condition. And in the case of the 1974 quarter, certain examples have proven to be worth extraordinary sums. Minting errors are a key factor in this coin's allure. Coins are produced under precise conditions, but even in such tightly controlled environments, mistakes happen. When they do, those mistakes can slip through and create unique variations that collectors prize. For the 1974 quarter, some of the most remarkable errors include off-center strikes, double strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank piece of metal on which a coin design is stamped, and occasionally, coins end up struck on planchets meant for other denominations or even foreign coins. A 1974 quarter struck on a dime planchet or struck on the wrong alloy becomes not just an oddity but a once-in-a-lifetime find. Even without dramatic errors, condition alone can elevate the value of a coin. Coins graded at the highest levels, mint state 67 or higher, are exceedingly rare for 1974 quarters. The vast majority of coins circulated heavily, showing scratches, wear, and discoloration. Finding a quarter from this year with sharp details, a full luster, and no signs of circulation is like discovering a needle in a haystack. And when these high-grade specimens come to market, the competition among collectors can be fierce. It is not uncommon for such coins to reach values in the astonishing range of $55,000 to $122,000, proving that quality alone can transform pocket change into a small fortune. The auction stories surrounding these coins highlight the passion of collectors. There have been examples of 1,974 quarters in pristine condition or with striking mint errors that attracted heavy bidding. In some cases, these coins shocked even the auctioneers with the final hammer prices. To think that a coin worth just 25 cents could be auctioned for tens of thousands of dollars is the kind of event that keeps collectors searching and hopeful. This unpredictability is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. Any coin, in any collection, could potentially be one of these extraordinary rarities. It's also important to note the cultural and historical context of the 1974 quarter. The mid-1970s were a turbulent time in America. The country was dealing with political scandals, economic uncertainty, and cultural shifts. Yet through it all, coins like the Washington quarter remained a constant in everyday life. They were part of daily commerce, unnoticed yet essential. Looking back, these coins are like tiny time capsules, carrying with them the story of a nation in transition. For collectors, this historical backdrop only adds to the significance of owning a rare 1974 quarter. The San Francisco proof coins from 1974 add another layer of intrigue. These coins, struck with extraordinary care, were not meant for circulation but for collectors. With their mirror-like fields and sharp designs, they already stand out as special. But when errors or varieties appear on proof coins, their rarity multiplies. A proof coin with an unusual strike or double die could be one of the rarest examples of the entire series, and that combination of condition and rarity could easily propel its value into the high five or even six-figure range. For many collectors, the thrill lies in the hunt. Checking change, examining coins with magnifying glasses, and carefully cataloging each find is part of the hobby's charm. The 1974 quarter, with its potential for incredible value, keeps that thrill alive. It reminds collectors and everyday people alike that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets. The idea that a coin casually handed over at a grocery store decades ago could now be worth $55,000 to $122,000 adds a sense of wonder to the hobby. The Washington Quarter series as a whole has a rich history of rarities and valuable coins. From the early silver issues of the 1930s and 1940s to the unusual transitional errors of the 1960s, the series is full of surprises. The 1974 quarter stands as one of the highlights of the modern clad era, proving that even after silver was removed from circulating quarters in 1965, there were still treasures to be found. Its role in the larger narrative of U.S. coinage makes it a key coin for serious collectors and an exciting discovery for beginners. In the end, the 1974 Washington quarter is far more than just a piece of pocket change. It is a coin that combines history, artistry, and the chance of extraordinary value. Whether it is a flawless mint state example, a dramatic mint error, or a rare proof variety, the potential for value is undeniable. For collectors, the allure lies in the possibility that the next coin examined could be one of these remarkable rarities. And with values ranging from $55,000 to $122,000, the incentive to look closely is stronger than ever. The story of this coin reminds us that rarity often hides in plain sight. Every coin has a history, and every once in a while, a coin emerges that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. The 1974 quarter is a shining example of that truth, carrying with it not only the image of the nation's first president, but also the promise of discovery, value, and fascination. The 2022 Maya Angelou $2 coin is one of those pieces that instantly stands out in the history of U.S. currency. When it was first released, many Americans viewed it as just another quarter, something to use for parking meters, vending machines, or to toss into a change jar without much thought. Yet hidden among the millions produced are rare examples of this coin that have stunned collectors and auction houses. These special quarters, carrying unique qualities and striking errors, have reached astonishing values ranging anywhere from $36,000 to $105,000, making them some of the most talked about coins in modern circulation. To understand why the Maya Angelou quarter is so significant, it's important to look at the background of its creation. In early 2022, the United States Mint introduced the American Women Quarters Program, a multi-year initiative to honor influential women in American history. Maya Angelou was the very first person chosen for this program. Known worldwide as a poet, dancer, singer, actress, memoirist, and above all, a powerful voice for equality and dignity, Angelou's presence on U.S. coinage was both groundbreaking and deeply symbolic. Her quarter represents not just money but also cultural history, carrying with it the stories of struggle, resilience, and triumph. The obverse of the coin continues the traditional portrait of George Washington, but with a difference. Instead of the modernized profile most Americans are used to, the 2022 American Women Quarters feature a new design of Washington created decades earlier by sculptor Laura Garden Fraser. This design, originally intended for the 1932 Washington quarter, was passed over in favor of John Flanagan version. By using Fraser's portrait in 2022, the Mint not only gave the coin a refreshing look but also paid tribute to a female sculptor whose work had been overlooked for nearly a century. The reverse of the coin is where the magic truly lies. Designed by Emily Damstra, it depicts Maya Angelou with her arms uplifted, a confident, radiant figure appearing to rise with the wings of a bird behind her, symbolizing both freedom and flight. Rays of light stretch across the background, reinforcing the themes of inspiration and progress that Angelou embodied in her lifetime. The inscriptions United States of America, Maya Angelou, E pluribus unum, and $2 complete the reverse. It's a design unlike any quarter before it, bold, artistic, and full of symbolism. The combination of this cultural importance and stunning artistry already makes the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter desirable for collectors. But what has elevated certain examples to values between $36,000 and $105,000 is the presence of minting errors, varieties, and pristine conditions. Modern minting technology is highly advanced, but mistakes still happen, and when they do, the resulting coins become numismatic treasures. Some of the most valuable 2022 quarters feature dramatic errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die breaks that alter the details of Angelou's figure or the inscriptions around her. Others were struck on the wrong planchets, meaning a quarter design accidentally ended up on a blank meant for another denomination. These rare errors are fascinating to collectors because they combine modern artistry with mistakes that make each coin truly one of a kind. And when one of these flawed yet extraordinary coins turns up in flawless mint condition, the price it can fetch at auction is jaw-dropping. Even without errors, condition plays an enormous role. Millions of Maya Angelou quarters circulated in daily commerce, and most show scratches, marks, and wear from everyday use. But examples preserved in uncirculated rolls, or graded by professional services like PCGS and NGC at levels such as MS67 or MS68, become highly desirable. Add in a rare variety or error, and suddenly a single quarter from your pocket change can be worth as much as $105,000. Part of the appeal also lies in the cultural significance of Maya Angelou herself. As the first African-American woman ever featured on a U.S. quarter, her presence represents a milestone in American numismatics. Collectors who prize coins for their historical and cultural value are drawn to this quarter not just as a piece of money, but as a symbol of progress and representation. That emotional connection adds to the demand, which in turn helps drive up the value of rare examples. Auction houses and private sales have already seen intense competition over the most unusual 2022 quarters. Stories circulate of collectors paying enormous sums to secure top-graded or rarer examples of the Maya Angelou quarter, recognizing that these coins are not only scarce now but will likely grow even more valuable with time. The combination of rarity, beauty, and historical importance makes them highly collectible, and every time one surfaces, the bidding wars can become intense. What makes the story even more thrilling is the fact that these valuable coins are still relatively new and could be hiding in plain sight. Since the American Women Quarters Program coins entered circulation, countless people have unknowingly handled quarters that might be worth far more than face value. Collectors continue to search bank rolls, coin jars, and even pocket change, hoping to uncover that one piece with the right error or condition. The possibility that a coin worth $36,000 to $105,000 could be resting unnoticed in a drawer or change cup makes this hobby feel like a treasure hunt. For beginners entering the world of coin collecting, the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter serves as a perfect example of why careful observation matters. A coin that looks like any other can reveal extraordinary details under closer inspection. A doubled letter, a faint die crack, or an unusual strike could make all the difference. With knowledge, patience, and a bit of luck, anyone has the chance to stumble upon a life-changing discovery. The significance of the Maya Angelou quarter goes beyond numismatics. It stands as a powerful reminder of how coins reflect not just monetary value but also national values. Coins tell stories of leaders, culture, art, and history, and the Angelou quarter is a perfect example. It honors a woman who inspired millions with her words and presence, and it elevates her legacy to one of the most lasting mediums possible: U.S. coinage. That dual role as both art and history makes this coin irresistible to collectors and history enthusiasts alike. As the American Women Quarters program continues, future releases will honor other groundbreaking figures, but the Maya Angelou quarter will always remain the first, the one that set the tone for the entire series. Its importance as both a cultural landmark and a collectible rarity means its place in numismatic history is secure. And for those who own one of the rare examples worth tens of thousands, it is not just a collectible but a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. The story of the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter proves that even the most ordinary-seeming coins can carry extraordinary surprises. A single quarter minted just a few years ago can suddenly transform from loose change into a piece of history worth as much as $105,000. It's a reminder that value is not always obvious, and that in every handful of coins, there could be something waiting to be discovered.